Check, check, quick sound check. Can everybody hear us loud and clear? What's going on, Coach Paul?
Hey, Coach Jay, can hear you loud and clear. Welcome back at the buzzers for
Welcome,
Tesla earnings.
welcome to all of our buzzer beaters to At the Buzzer. Are here to review what happened in the markets, and the Tesla earnings are out. So why don't we get right into that first? Welcome to At the Buzzer, our market recap. First time here, the goal of this session is to review what happened in the markets for the day. We may talk about some markets that you have not traded before, but we believe our goal as traders is to identify opportunity. Want to see how we can take advantage of those opportunities while managing our risk. I'm Coach Jay. I've been a Topstep performance coach since June of 2023, and that is Coach Paul. Coach Paul, while I get these Tesla charts up, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Coach Paul. I've been with Topstep since April of 2023. I've been involved in the futures trading industry for 4 decades. I'm here to share some of my experience, some knowledge, and hopefully help you become a better trader.
Awesome stuff. Thank you for that, Coach Paul. You are all our chat, our audience. Thank you for joining us as you do each and every day. Could not do this show without you. So Tesla earnings came in. Earnings per share estimate came in at the estimate was 54 cents. It came in at 50 cents, so a little bit less than expected. Revenues came in at 28.1 billion. Estimates were 26.36 billion, so a little bit better there on revenues. And maybe asking, why are we covering Tesla? It is one of the heavier weighted companies in the S&P and in the Nasdaq. So as the S&P and the Nasdaq go, Tesla is going to go as well. Right before the close, we were trading $438.93. Tesla right now is trading $434. So not too big of a reaction here. It doesn't look too bad. Again, beat on revenues, missed on earnings per share. Free cash flow 3.99 billion. Estimate was 1.25 billion. They got 2 billion more cash flow than they thought. Gross margins came in at 18%. Estimate was 17%. Coach Paul, what would you do with extra $2 billion?
I wouldn't buy Tesla.
Wouldn't buy a Tesla.
I wouldn't buy Tesla.
Right.
Yeah, I might buy some gold. I don't know. It's a good question. What would you do?
An extra 2 billion. What wouldn't I do is the question.
Could be dangerous.
Yeah, what wouldn't I do? We did not go over IBM, but we can cover IBM. IBM. Oh, look at that. That's a bigger move than Tesla. Spiked all the way up to 298. IBM closed the day around 288. Spiked up to 298 and currently trading $274. Earnings per share came in at $2.65. Estimates were $2.41 for IBM. Revenues came in at 16.33 billion. Estimate was 16.1 billion. Software revenues came in line with expectations, 7.21 billion. Consulting revenue came in at 5.32 billion, better than expected. They have more cash flow than expected as well. And this is why you trade the market's reactions, right? Those IBM numbers sound better, right? Better than expectations. And look what the market does. Spikes up, sells off. Tesla came in, mixed results. Not too big of a reaction so far in Tesla. We have SAP reporting earnings as well. And we are getting into the thick of earnings season. Of course, we know the big one is going to be NVIDIA, which is usually at the end of earnings season. But these bigger tech earnings, we want to pay attention to the market's response. We had Netflix yesterday. Netflix was down huge after its earnings yesterday.
And
again,
recovered.
we never recovered, continuing to sell actually in Netflix. But we cover these because, again, they are heavily weighted in the markets that we trade. So as these markets go, they're just a basket of stocks. So again, as the companies in this basket go, is where the basket goes as well. So important to pay attention to these. We hear Coach Dakota on TopstepTV, Jack talking about the Mag 7, Hateful 8, Exponential 8, whatever you want to call them. But again, as those companies go, these do go as well. All right. Anything else you got on these company earnings, Coach Paul? Do we want to get into the markets?
No, after that break today, I think a pretty subtle reaction. Um, but like you said, kind of random s- reaction. So let's just get into the markets.
Let's get into the markets as soon as I figure out how to switch back to my market screen.
Well,
There we go. There we go. We're here. We're back. All right. Let's take a look at the news really quick. We are still in the middle of this government shutdown. So some of the planned numbers that we expect, we're still not getting. Um, we are expecting CPI at the end of the week, but we also were expecting PPI last week, and 2 minutes before they pulled the number. So we'll see whether or not we get that. Uh, there was some news out of the White House today and the trade deal with China. The Trump administration considering a plan to restrict globally produced exports to China made with or containing software. It took me a little while to kind of digest what that really meant, Coach Paul.
well,
And
I'm uh, I'm all ears because I don't understand how you would do that or even really what that meant. But enlighten me.
so I don't know how much of a light I can shine on this, but my understanding, and someone brought it up, like that's not great news for a company like an Apple, right? If we're considering restricting exports to China with anything with US software on it, right? What happens to uh, all Apple products that get sold in China, or Microsoft products or anything like that, or anything else that has software that I guess is built or created in the U.S. Again, it's a consideration, and we saw the markets respond to that. Kind of sold off and got bought right back up. I think the algos are just holding on to anything that says Trump, China, tariffs, exports, whatever. Um, but interesting for sure. If that is something that does happen.
Yeah. Well, another once again a shot to the bow in the middle of the day
Yep.
with no warning. Like also there I found another interesting announcement by Treasury Secretary Bessent. Is a substantial pickup in Russia sanctions expected.
Right.
They they're going to announce the sanctions today or tomorrow, which to me were I didn't expect that. So we'll see. That's going to come out. What sanctions, how that will help or hurt, I don't know. But once again, trade war is really hyping up. So there is no schedule for that.
No,
So
there is not.
stay tuned.
No scheduled for that. We did get crude oil inventories coming out a miss, big miss. Forecast was 2.18 million, came in at negative 0.96 million. So they continue to miss over there, whatever's going on there with EIA. But let's take a look at the charts. We have 36 different markets that we can trade with top step accounts. And today, to the downside, we had cattle down 2.22%, micro Bitcoin down 3.85%, and micro Ethereum down 5.5%. The upside, we had crude oil up 3.6%. Shout out to the house account holding on to that trade all day until crude finally decided to move. Heating oil up 3.7%, and platinum up 3.76%, while we saw big sell-offs in some of the other metals. Let's talk about our big four. We already talked about crude up 3.63%, the S&P down 0.58%, gold up 0.18%. You look at that gold chart, it did not look like it traded up at all. Uh, and the Nasdaq down 1.02%. Uh, let's talk about. We're going to start with gold again.
Let's do it.
We are going to start with gold.
Why not? It's the
Uh,
biggest opportunity.
it really is. It really is. What are you seeing here on the daily, Coach Wall?
Well, we talked yesterday that we held at 40.11 in last week's low. Um, I find that's a really big level. Um, so we got close. What the low was uh, tw- 20,
Uh,
21,
low of the day 20, yeah, 21.20. We talked about that last week. Low 40 11.30. Last week's low.
40, 11, 30. We held that. In the short term here, we're really oversold. Um, so we're at the marginal line. We hold, and we could really rip right back up when we see talk of perhaps trade war, a hot war. You could see gold turn around and rip right back. If not, and we close below that level, to me, it's a bigger move downward. So we're right there. I think it's going to hold personally and
I'm
set
with you.
up for a nice rally. But that's talk. We'll see what happens tonight. I think that tonight's going to show some show the cards.
Yep,
So anything
absolutely.
you see in that I'm
Uh,
maybe missing?
we came down here. We tested that 20-day moving average. We tested what was the prior highest volume candle of the day, uh, right to 50% of it, pretty close to it. Uh, right at one point, this was the highest volume candle of the year. We came back down, tested this zone, and we found some buyers. Right, just like we found some buyers here the last time. So I'm kind of with you here, Coach Paul. It's going to take a lot more, and we've seen some insane volatility in gold recently. I
By
don't know
the
if you were
way,
watching. What's up?
it did bounce off the 20-day moving average.
It did 40-41. 40-41 was that 20-day moving average. Again, this is gold with extreme volatility, so it did run that level by
Yeah.
$20. But if we put
It,
that line out there, it's yellow. So when we go to a shorter time frame, we can see exactly how it responded there. Let's take a look at the 30-minute chart. Also, Coach Paul, when's the last time you saw 1,000 lot in gold?
I've never seen 1,000 lot in
Well, there
gold.
was one today. Uh, there was
Was
one
it a
today.
buy?
On the offer. 40. I'll get you the exact price. 40.65.90. Yep, that's
40,
price.
65, 90.
40.65.90. 1,000 lot offer this morning in gold. While we were doing the opening call, we were long. Everything looked right with the world. Everything looked right with the trade. Somebody comes out and throws 1,000 lot out there because they knew we were on the stream. Uh, Douglas says it was a spoof. It was definitely not a spoof. That entire order filled. Uh, we ran it by about $7 or $4, and then $20 sell off. So 40.65.90 is a level that I'm going to keep on my chart on gold for the foreseeable future until somebody else wants to trade 1,000 lot. We'll make
So
this.
it did get filled.
It did get filled. So we got to, and you got to remember how gold has been trading. There's been full dollar spreads in gold
Yeah.
over the past couple of days.
Well, you
So
just said
yeah, go ahead.
there was that on the 20-day moving average, it looked like it was just a blip. That was $20.
Right.
So, you know, a dollar, we're at $4,000. I almost think it should be. To me, if I'm a market maker, a dollar seems reasonable between the bid and offer, if not more. I,
Yeah.
um,
Uh, really interesting price there. Again, if we look at the full session, gold was a pretty wild overnight session. I got a lot of things marked out on this chart, so I'm gonna some of this stuff off here. Here's the 20 moving average. This red line, we can take that off. That was last week's low. But in the overnight session, we got an aggressive sell off. Got bought right back up off of that 200 moving average. That was the first test of it.
20 moving average.
20 moving average. We got a J trade here on the 30-minute, right back up to those highs and right back into the range. This is a wild day in gold for sure. What are you seeing here on this 30-minute?
Well, I'm finding support down here off this 20-day moving average. With 1, 2, 3 times we tried to sell through it and held it and rallied off of it. We did have a J trade. And then we had another one. Now the first one had a decent rally, but we are finding the selling subsiding down there, or at least there's some buying.
Right.
Um,
Someone's trying to save it.
so and we're finding that's right around that last week's low. So I just think if all the king's horses and all the king's men can't break this gold, I mean, how far are we off the high from just Monday?
Right, we were just there. We are
$400?
about 7%, about less than $300 off the high, which is not far, right? We saw a 5% sell-off. We're really only a couple of days off from that high
No.
if this volatility keeps up. Right now, gold has taken some shots, right? And we see that double top up here. That does look a little scary for buyers, but it's done this before, and we just continue to find the buying. Yeah, I'm with you, Coach Paul. I'm not ready to say that this rally is over yet. We do need to attract some new buyers into this market. This is the first opportunity I think that we've seen over the last couple of days for them to really get a better price and not have to buy the highs and hope it keeps going higher. So let's see. Let us see. We got some questions here. Uh, we got some questions here. Do you think they're still holding? So here's my and this again. Anything we say here is for educational purposes only. Should not be considered any trading advice. Uh, I am aware that when we start to talk about some volume stuff, we do get very speculative in what we think is happening. Whoever traded that thousand lot, I have no idea what their intentions were. I don't know what they were doing. But uh, do I think they're still holding? I I'm gonna say I think we saw that position probably cover almost immediately after. That's just my opinion. I'm going based on the volume. I actually don't know, and there's no way for me to know. But we saw that thousand lot, Coach Paul. 40, 65, 90 was the price. It traded out right here, and again, we spiked above it because there were probably some orders that were trying to get short with them. We spike above. We get almost immediately 25 points to the downside, $25 to the downside. And we spike right back up. And the volume on the way back up, back through their price was almost equal to what we saw on the downside. To me, that sounds like a cover, but I don't know. I really don't know. But we have almost no volume trading at all. Then we get a huge spike of volume, 3,000 contracts, 1,000 lot gets filled. We see the market push lower, and then right back through that price and kind of stopping at that price, almost equal volume. So I'm going to say that that person's probably no longer in that position, but I have no way to say to know for sure.
Yeah, and we don't know whether what that $1,000, what it was, it a short cover, or was it an option hedge? Was it a liquidation? But what we do know is it traded there, and we can see a result. Really didn't do much to the market.
No,
Like, if you wouldn't have told me there was 1,000 lot, I wouldn't have really.
even known.
Yeah. So, I mean, well, here we go, and we have to get ready for tomorrow because 'cause we're day traders.
Yep. Yeah, I'd agree. And again, that's part of the reason why I don't really think that person is there either. It's because the market didn't really respect that price for the rest of the day. So it's not like sometimes you'll see some size get traded at a level, Coach Paul, and we see every time the market comes back to it, that market participant is still defending that position. We didn't really see that here. So I'm gonna say no. But either way, it made for some good TV this morning. Because I don't know that any of us have seen 1,000 lots trade in gold. It's a lot of size,
It's a lot of money.
a lot of money, ton of money. If just for hypotheticals, right? If they got filled on that entire 1,000 lot at the low of this move, that was $2.5 million in about 4 minutes. I might take my money, but that's just me. That's just me. All
Well,
right. Anything else you got in gold, Coach Paul?
yeah, I think this first half an hour tonight is going to be really important. If we see any urgency on the buy side or on the sell side, I think it's going to be um, setting the tone for the rest of the day. That personally, but seeing how we're bouncing off that 20-day um, couple times and we can't really get follow through, um, I think it's a positive sign.
We have 200 moving average on 30-minute up at 42.51. We're about 140 points off of that right now. Starting to see the 20 moving average curl upwards. It's been in a little bit of a downtrend. And again, that's on the 30-minute. Coach Vince says that 1,000 lot was him getting out. Nice trade, Coach Vince. Uh, nice trade. But yeah, let's see. Let's see in gold again. I'm not ready to say that the trend is over. We needed a healthy pullback, and I think we got one, right? Almost 7% off the all-time high. Uh, sounds pretty healthy to me in a market that was just running to the upside. Um, there was a question also from Dante Sweeney in the chat that said, how can you tell when an order gets filled? You can have time and sales up. Uh, right, time and sales is going to show any of the filled executions, right? So you can look at it this way to tell if it's filled. Uh, if you want to filter it because it just moves too fast with every one lot that gets traded, you can do that also. But what you can also do is look at the depth of market, and you can put up this volume profile on your depth of market on TopstepX, and it'll show how much volume traded at that price, right? This ended up being, I think, volume point of control for the day at 40, 65, 90. But there's a couple of ways you can do it, right? Time and sales is one way. You can look at the volume on the DOM and look at the volume indicator that shows it there as well. Or you can tune in to Top Step TV, and if you hear Andre say filled, then you know that that size did trade out. Uh,
That's an option.
that is an option for you. All right. Anything else you got on gold?
That's it.
That
What did
is
silver do today? About the same.
about the same. I think the equities kind of took the show back from
Well,
the metals today. Silver up 1% today. Again, didn't really look like it. Pretty range bound day. Still a wide range, right? High to low range. We're still talking about 4% in silver, but basing a little bit here, right under that 20-day moving average. That was the high of the day. Interesting. All of these metal markets are extremely interesting right now. What's going on?
um, wow, that silver's a little buy gold, sell silver. It's been that way. It's been acting that way for about 4 years now,
Right.
but um, really not a very positive reaction to that break on the buy side. You said it's up 1% for on the day.
Right.
It looked like it even opened up. So, all right.
Uh, got one more question here from Rich that says, "Was that expected when the 1,000 lot filled the price to drop $15?" Okay, so here's the thing, right? So when you see some of those bigger orders, uh, I know we had that house account long trade on. Uh, I kind of don't when I see size like that on the order book and I'm long, I probably start thinking maybe we don't get a flush, but I start thinking about position, right? Because again, 1,000 contracts in gold, we have to have a market participant willing to buy 1,000 or we don't trade higher. And then if we're thinking that that person is getting in short, we saw immediate follow through. So is it going to trade that way all the time? It's not. We see 1,000 lots in the S&P all day. We saw them all day today, and we didn't really get strong market reactions. I think in something like gold, that move was probably a little bit more expected because again, that's not something that we see all the time in gold. So again, real quick pop up and a sell off. Uh, I would say that was more expected than seeing a similar size trade in the S&P just because we see it more often. All right, let's go over now to the equities. Looking at it daily in the S&P, Coach Paul, what are we seeing?
Uh, Healthy break. I'm still holding the 20-day moving average after we've closed over it Monday. Went and tested it. Um, I th- Still looks very friendly to me. Don't be To me, it hasn't paid to be short very long. Um, so it still looks positive. We still have the 20 over the 50. All that 20 is flattening out. A little concerned, but still, trend is still very positive. We are though still stuck in what do we call that big candle again?
Uh, October tariffs. The
Tariff tantrum.
tariff tantrum. There we go. Uh,
Okay. We're still in it, but that market does not look bearish to me. Cl- Number one, close under the 20-day moving average or the 50, and maybe we'll can start saying the top is in, but we're not there. So it still looks pretty positive. Is this to me? It looks like a dip to buy.
yeah, I mean, we came down, we held VWAP from that tariff tantrum candle. Uh, we are still above the 20-day moving average. Still looking pretty bullish for now. Um, we do need to attract some new buyers in here, though. I'm curious to see what the open interest was going into tomorrow. Did we attract new sellers into this market on a down day? And still need to do some work to break out of this range, because once we break out of this range, we're talking about all-time highs. So accumulate all the position that you need in this range, because then when we break, we might be talking about 7,000s in the S&P pretty soon.
Okay,
Let's take a look at the 30-minute here. Last night,
nothing. Flat. I
flat.
mean, it was nothing.
Everyone
Did
was
it
looking at
even leave?
gold.
Yeah. And did he even leave the opening range VWAP?
It never did
Okay,
last
so
night.
nothing happened. Let's look at a volume profile overnight.
Let's take this VWAP off of here. There we go.
All right. Now, we opened up right at the volume point of control from overnight. And with very light volume, I found that really interesting today. I did not sell it. I'm not looking to sell it. Um, and boy, kind of forlorn, but I didn't own it. And that first half an hour, we found real sellers, and that was a good start.
Yep.
But we went to what? We actually got under the 200 moving average. Um, we had a big down day. That news of the heightening tensions with China really, but once again we bounced and settled above the 200 moving average. Um, so a
Uh,
nice healthy break to buy.
yeah. Broke below 6,700s in the S&P briefly. Bought right back up. I do really like this volume point of control from the overnight session, and kind of looking at how we trade that coming into the New York session. And what we're looking at is volume profile from last night. And then on the New York session open, we never had price traded above that volume point of control for a second. We never had volume trade above it. That is an early indication that there are no buyers in this market. Really nice sell off from there. Similar story in the NASDAQ. Almost the exact same trade in the NASDAQ. Quiet overnight session. Put that volume profile up again. See that the market's barely moved. And again, volume point of control from the overnight session. Price trades above that point of control, and volume never does. A really nice rejection there as well. Shout out to Dakota, who caught piece of this short, or a big piece of the short in fast markets this morning. How do you guys find open interest? You can take a look at the CME website. A link here in the chat. You can click on the volume and open interest tab there on the CME website, and you can get it. It updates every morning around 7 a.m. Eastern time. You can get it from there.
Do we get it on our charts on Top Step X?
Open interest, no.
Oh,
Open interest, we don't. But Hogue also mentions it every morning during the opening call.
yep.
But yeah, you can get it from the CME website. The Nasdaq is still below that 200 moving average on the 30-minute chart. Maybe looking a little bit heavier with some of these bad tech earnings that are coming out. Will be an interesting day tomorrow. What I'm watching tomorrow in the Nasdaq is this 30-minute candle here. 24,866 is the low. 2554 is the high. Highest volume 30-minute candle under that 200 moving average. I'll be watching that candle tomorrow. How the market responds to there.
Yeah, and let's see if we can get VWAP over that. Seems to me it was a little overdone, but like you said, but there's a J trade there. We've held it. Interesting. If we take the volume point of control and extend it to the close, we went right to it moved down, and this is where we are right now. So today's volume point of control, we're right there. The 200's above it. I mean, does it hold here? And I think if we get some buying above that tomorrow on the opening, we could rally pretty hard.
We are getting some comments from the president here. The Wall Street Journal story on the U.S.'s approval of Ukraine being allowed to use long-range missiles deep into Russia is fake news. That was a headline that came out about 2 hours ago. The U.S. targets Rosenfeld and Lukoil in the latest round of Russia sanctions. So some of those sanctions that Treasury Secretary Bessent was talking about coming down now. The U.S. is prepared to take further action if needed against Russia. With that being said, take a look at crude oil. Crude oil on a daily, Coach Paul. What are we seeing here?
Well, we talked about this yesterday. We did find squeezing at the bottom. It only takes a little bit of buying to get an extension. And we found that. Also, there was a headline of a hurricane in the Caribbean heading towards Florida. Anytime you see that, what market is the most short? Crude oil.
Right.
So I see that as a short covering rally, but quite a nice rally, but still not in a bullish by any sense market. Let's see if we go test that 20-day moving average. But we got a 55. What was that on Friday?
Yeah,
Or 56.
55.96 was the low, and we're back up near testing $60 again.
Yeah. So, well, let's look at the half hour.
Let's take a look. We also had the U.S. Energy Secretary write this morning. Oil prices are low. A great time to be a buyer. Then,
Whoa. Was this someone for the administration?
U.S. Energy Secretary.
He's going to get fired.
Did you not hear the president say he wanted under $55?
Yeah, wow. Maybe
great
that was maybe he was buying. I don't know, but
Great time
last
to be a
night
buyer.
we talked about we're above the 200 on the half hour.
Yep.
Now, the first half an hour, really no volume, but we did go down, and I think did we test it?
We didn't get down there exactly. We got down to 57.20, 57.33.
So, once again, who bought it? By what, was it Europe
Buying started, looks like Asia.
at the end of alright. Shanghai.
Yep.
Um, wow, and we don't see that too often, where Asia, especially in the energies, leads a move. Maybe they were listening to the energy secretary. I don't know, but we do know that there was some light selling early. How long? We talked about this again. We've been under that 200 moving average on the half hour. We closed above it. We had, you were talking about it, that volume. We had volume over. If we tag a VWAP from where it closed yesterday's close and see if it stays above, and it did. So,
I think this is what Billy called the at the buzzer golden cross. We have volume crossing above the 200 moving
yeah,
average.
he did. Yes.
Thank you for that, Billy. I like that. I mean, and look at it, great trade.
Yeah. Um, so and still I still consider this a short covering rally. Um, because we've been so I mean, bottom line, we had a J trade yesterday at the lows, which we closed above. So maybe we should review what we were talking about yesterday and then load up.
Yep.
But still, nice short covering rally.
Absolutely. Traded up into the $60 level, 59.83s. House count did take a long, and again, this move did not happen until the end of the day. This was a sleepy trade. We took a 5 minute opening range trade long, got in at 58.45s, and one of the things we've adjusted with taking that opening range trade is waiting for a candle close on whatever time frame we're taking the trade. In this case, it wouldn't have made much of a difference because the opening range held as the low from that point. But we got in at 58.45s, and the market didn't do anything the entire day. But this was a case. I don't know if this was my personal trade, if I would have been able to hold on to this one, because I think I would have got bored. But it did work out eventually for a pretty nice trade, almost a 4-to-1 up at those highs. If you were able to hold it there, no JD scaled out of the position, but a pretty nice trade here.
Yeah, way to hold on. So you were saying you're waiting for a candle close above
Yeah.
today?
So yeah, we're just
Yeah,
looking for a confirmation candle now. There's been a lot of false breakouts for some of the opening range trades, so we're switching it up just a little bit, switching up the execution just a little bit.
no, nice.
Uh,
And like you said, most of it came at the end of the day, which is another sign of short covering. Um, to me, that looks like a type of fund that waits towards the close before it covers,
yep.
and then you start seeing volume pick up. But um, still, I'm looking for. Still the trend is down. Can this continue? Absolutely, it can, but it's got a lot to overcome.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. All right. We went through the big four really quick here. We did start a little bit early because of the Tesla earnings. Anything else, Coach Paul, you want to go over?
Um, let's look at Bitcoin.
I shared that wallet yesterday as we were closing.
You
They
could
were
share
sh-
that wallet with me too.
they were short from 111's 111,000. Uh, I took it short last night. I followed the wallet. Someone who's willing to short $30 million worth of Bitcoin, I have no shame. I'll follow them. Uh, Coach Hoop, you got short too? Yeah, I got no shame. I will. I my trading mentor used to say all the time, there's a ton of money to be made in being a great follower in these markets. And they came in and sold it, so I sold it with them. What are we seeing on the daily here, Coach Paul?
Well, very heavy. $30 million short, heavy. Um, we're bouncing along that 200 moving average, and we, tr- yesterday we had a nice rally, but someone sold it. um, not a great bounce. Is it a little overdone? I, not necessarily. So it's actually, if we look at this market, it's been it's there hasn't been much volatility in it, even on this break. Um, Now, if we close above it, I mean below it, I think we can get some continuation. Um, there was some pretty heavy volume today. Interestingly, um, considering yesterday's range, look at yesterday's range was bigger than today's range, uh, but the volume was less.
Yep. I
Not
want to
good.
not good at all. I want to take a look at that wallet and see what their positions might be right now. They are still short 1,300 Bitcoin right now, same price. So they got out about 800 Bitcoin because they were short 2,100. They're still short 1,300 and holding it. Floating P&L of $4 million. Again, I'll share that in the chat. Shout out to Jack for sharing this initially. But we talk about volume all the time. This is literal volume that we could follow in the Bitcoin markets. Bullet traders, appreciate you being here as always. Have a good one. Thank you all for joining. Uh, all right, Coach Paul. Anything else that we got here?
Um, what else we have?
Did it.
Well, let's look at the bonds.
All right.
We haven't covered them in a long time.
What are you seeing here in the bonds?
Pretty pretty heavy rally here.
Trading back
W
through this big sell-off candle.
Yeah. Now we are halfway. Are we half through the halfway point?
Above it now.
Yep.
Above it
It's
now.
gaining some momentum. Um, and they're
Keep
looking
hearing
pretty
yields
good.
coming down, right?
Yeah, interest rates coming down. Still tough to trade in a day, but it's gaining some momentum.
You have into the Fed meeting. We got a Fed meeting next week. 25 basis point cut is the expectation. 96% expectation of a 25 basis point cut. Put a link in the chat to the Fed Watch tool so you can take a look at that.
Maybe it's good for the treasuries. There is no government news.
Yeah, I
To,
mean,
to,
since the government shutdown, we've been pretty much in a rally, right?
right.
Yeah, interesting.
And they could be a fundamental reason for it. Like
Hmm,
there's, they're not spending. If they're shut down, they're not spending. So
interesting.
let's look at the 10-year also.
This is a 10-year chart here.
Uh, Same thing as the bonds. Maybe even friendlier. Oh,
I'll put this high. It will be very interesting. 6 days until the Fed meeting. Interesting.
yeah. Now, 5-year. We haven't looked in that in a long, long time.
What are you seeing here?
Little less friendly than the 10-year. Um, it's still at the halfway point, but the bonds in the 10-year, pretty impressive moves here. No one's been talking about yields. We haven't had government quote unquote numbers that affect it. Um, and it's doing quite well on its own. Maybe you should just remove all these government numbers and just trade the market.
Right. Let the
I
markets be
would vote
markets.
for that.
Cleaner price action, right?
Yeah.
Cleaner price action. All right, we got one more request for cattle, and then I'm gonna need to get out of here in just a little bit. But let's
Okay.
take a look at these cattle charts. We made a new all-time high a couple days ago. That was October 16th. Made a new all-time high in cattle, seeing a little bit of a pullback here. We had a 3% day in cattle. While everyone's talking about gold, equity markets, cattle quietly 3% move, high to low. Uh, I don't know if I
Well,
saw Coach Hoop yelling about this in the chat. I would have paid more attention. But that was a pretty aggressive sell off, whatever this candle was here. Maybe some news came out, tariffs on beef. Who knows what it was? But
no, bringing Argentinian beef into the US.
okay, that's what the headline was.
Oh, by the way, we didn't even talk about the huge move that's happening beyond beef.
Oh yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
up
yeah.
like 1,200%.
Have you ever had a Beyond Burger?
Yeah, and I've done it. It just doesn't, maybe I'm just the vampire in me doesn't have that bloody taste. I don't,
Yeah.
I like rare steak too. But it's not, I mean, I'll tell you what, if I'm hungry and it's done right and it costs $1.50 and the burger costs $7 or $8, it kinda tastes better to me.
See, that's the thing though. It's not cheaper than a burger.
It's not,
I feel like
even with this rally?
every time I've seen it, it's always been more expensive. Uh,
Alright, chat. Someone's gotta take this and go and see what a pound of Beyond Meat costs.
See, K just said it in the chat. There ain't no veggie burger that's $1. It doesn't happen, right? They're like, oh yeah, this a better alternative, and it costs more as well. Why am I buying that? Give me the real thing.
Yeah.
Uh, who here and chat? I don't want to offend anybody. If anyone's vegan or anything like that, I just don't like them. I've tried them. Uh, just couldn't do it. It's like if I'm gonna eat a burger, well, I'm gonna eat the real thing. Uh,
My daughter, who's a lifelong vegetarian, she doesn't like them.
oh really?
Yeah. She goes, "I just don't like the texture." So, I don't know. I still,
I'd rather
by
eat
the way,
like
I
a
like a big juicy burger. I'm not big on the smash burger. I've had them. I don't hate them, but
mm,
me, I love a fat, juicy burger.
yeah. I'd rather
It's like
eat
a
like
steak.
I'd rather eat a black bean burger, which is not bad. Like a veggie burger, black bean burger. Those are pretty good. But I don't know. It's like why are we faking meat? Hey, that's just my opinion. I try not to share too many of my opinions here. They could get me in trouble. But yeah, why are we faking meat? Ronan, and tell you're from New York. All right. Anything else we want to talk about here?
I
Uh,
think we've covered it.
I think we did it. I think we did it, chat. We got 2 more days left. 2 days left. Still some great trading to be done here. Uh, Still some great trading to be done here. Watch gold volatility in the overnight session. Join Coach Dakota for slow markets tonight. It is sure to be a show. Did I share the link on my volume class? I did. And I'm only going to share it again if we get above 100 likes on this video. And that's asking for a little bit. There are 611 people here. If we could hit that thumbs up button, I appreciate it. Coach Paul appreciates it. I'll share it again. But I've shared it a bunch of times. It's the same class. It's a 2 hour class that we did on volume of months ago. But
Yeah, we don't beg for them,
no,
but when
not at
we
all.
ask, we're
I don't
polite.
beg, but I'll barter. Barter for sure. All right. Anything you got
Digicap.
before we go, Coach Paul?
I just got a Digicaps about Beyond Meat. I'll like it if it makes me 1,200%. I'll second that too. I'll eat it all week if I can get that. So,
Take your
but
take your
otherwise,
Beyond Meat
once again,
profits and buy a real burger.
once again, plan your trade, trade your plan. Be ready for. Oh wait, there was one comment here. Large funds. Oh, no, one second. Uh, Dan Trader, Coach Paul, I heard that most mutual funds rebalanced their portfolios the last 2 weeks of OC. Could that have some influence on the large ranges in the indices? Yeah, I could. Um, and there are statistical movements that funds, like hedge funds, waiting for those things. I mean, it possibly could. I can't say it is, but there are things like that. So, but once I mean, that could, but you still have to trade day by day, and you still have to execute a trading plan that has an edge. So, if that's true, that could account for some of the volume we saw early today. But if there is an edge to it, I don't know. Um, but and this is where I'll end. Once again, we have to figure our edge, how to execute it, create a plan, trade the plan the trade. With that, I hand it off to you, Coach.
Awesome stuff. Thank you, Coach Paul. Thank you, chat. Thank you, Coach Hoop, as always, for helping us run this session. We cannot do it without you guys. We appreciate you being here. 2 days left in the trading week, potentially CPI on Friday. So remember that the markets are always going to present opportunities. We don't try to have to try to force opportunity into our accounts. Just be prepared uh, mentally and with an account to take advantage of all the opportunity the market is presenting to us. Trade well, manage your risk. We got coaches doing classes. Coach Robert is doing a class in Discord right now. Coach Hoop is up after him at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. After that, Coach Ray, 7 p.m. Central Time. Coach Vince, 8 p.m. Of course, Dakota with slow markets tonight at 8:30 Eastern Time. Aaron with the London Open at 1:30 a.m. and D with the Euro Trade at 3:30. So a ton of content out here for you. Get out there, ask questions, experiment with some things, try some stuff, manage your risk, and we will talk to you all tomorrow. Have a great night.